share what we learned around interpersonal communication for this semester, but also integrate it with the vocabulary that you learn. Take time to really listen carefully and be critical, be analytical, because you're going to have fun this morning. Professor Johann Clendenin is the Managing Director of IC Progress, CEO and President of IC Group Inner Circle Logistics, Founding Director of the 501c3 non-governmental organization IC Progress Incorporated. He's also a retired Lieutenant Colonel of the U.S. Marine Corps and serves as a distinguished visiting professor at VICCC Visiting Scholar in Madrid, Spain. And he's from here. I think it's important to know that this is an outstanding Virgin Islander, really offering his skill, talent, and expertise with us. So let's warmly welcome Professor Clendenin. One more thing, and make sure you navigate what is the title of the presentation that he's sharing tonight. And I'm saying tonight because some people will not see this till this evening, even though it's important. But I just want to highlight that. So it's an honor and privilege to welcome him.
Well, good. So I've been teaching for over 50 years. So it's excuse me with some of my traits, principles of teaching. And I had a stint. I was on the senior faculty at Harvard Business School, and some of you know at Harvard we cold call people and have a lot of class participation. So I will be asking questions and you feel free to your answers. But if I don't have an answer, I will walk up to you and ask you questions. So just be prepared that it's not personal, it's just personal to me. If I want an answer, I'll do that. And I'll be watching, as old people do. I think you're playing games or, playing roadblocks or something like that, not paying attention, and I'll probably come up to you, while we get the rest of the lesson. So, anyway, but in full disclosure, has everybody read the story that we're going to be talking about? Yes. If you haven't read it, let me know now, so that I'm assuming that everybody just put their hand up high, so that I know that you haven't read it. All right. So we'll.
Small interjection. You might need to use the mic sometime if your voice go low.
Can you hear me in the back? Yeah. Okay. Do you have a story? Okay. Well, we're going to take about 3 minutes to read it. So read the story. And for those of you that have read it, review it, because it's important that we have that as a background for the discussion.
So while they're reading, I just would love for you to share for the viewing audience some of the areas that you would like to highlight and see done at the University of the Virgin Islands. Right. So some of the things that you'd like to see at the while they're reading, I would love for you to just share, like, what are the things that you sense should be highlighted around interpersonal communication, leadership, without going straight into your presentation course, just as a precursor.
While you're reading the case, I think leadership is one of those important things that we, as people and the community, we need to understand. So we see it both in civic leadership, we see it in our elected leaders, we see it in the running of businesses, in the schools. There's a leadership component in the personal skills of the government that's always important. So my personal journey, I started off teaching kindergarten in the Bronx in New York, and explaining the cool things to little minds. But there, we found that one of the traits of leadership is that you have to be on the same wavelength as the people that you're leading and working with. So in the mornings, you would have to go and find out what was going on in that student's life. If they eat properly, or sort of the clothes, or what are the things that they need from you as a leader. I then went on and did, as you mentioned, in the Marine Corps. I think the leadership traits and principles, and I taught leadership to officers at Officer County School in Toronto. And there, we're talking about the principles take what we get and make it what we want. So part of our leadership is understanding how to develop those traits and principles to guide your life. And some of those things we'll talk about today with terms like hubris and humility. And hubris would be that when you think you're right, you think you have the ability to impose your will on other people because you have that belief that you're right. And I think we see that happening in our country today and in our local community. And then humility is being able to understand that you need to understand before you take action. And so those are some of the things we'll talk about in the case today. But I think in general, when we talk about multicultural leadership, is understanding the ontological reference of values that people bring to their understanding. And so a lot of people on the planet, not most of them, believe in Christian values. And so that would be characterized by, turning the other cheek. But a lot of other people on the planet believe in the code of Colorado, which is an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. So there's different values, whether you're looking at the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita, or you're looking at the Bible, you're looking at Shintoism, you're looking at Zen Buddhism, or how different cultures understand their value system. So when people act consistent with their culture and they're not acting in their belief, then it comes into that imposing will. And so history, if you're back to the Peloponnesian Wars and Thucydides, when they talk about the Millennium Dialogue, and a lot of these things that I'm talking about are that there's a requirement for learned individuals as opposed to life actually learn these things as being important. So when we talk about the Millennium Dialogue, that was during the war when Athens was, the Athenians were trying to convince the people of Delos to join them in the fight against Sparta. And the Millennium said, no, we want to be neutral. So they came back again, they said no, and then they warned them, they said, look, if you don't join our side, then we're going to rape the women, salt the land, kill the men, and steal the children. And so on principle, the Millennials said, no, we're not going to do that. So the Athenians came, they killed the men, raped the women, salted the earth so that nobody could plant there in Milos, and sold the children. So, and at the end, it became might makes right, because the victor often determines what happens in our world and our globe. And so what happens there was when they settled the war, the Athenians were able to settle and not be punished for their atrocious acts towards the Millennials. So those are the kinds of things that we look at, and then and one of the things that's important with the case today is to talk about post-colonialism, because in the islands, in the Caribbean in particular, when we study leadership here at the center, the vestiges of that colonial past and how things were done manifest itself today. And certain things going on in Kenya, they have an expression there, it's our turn to eat. So when we look at that bias that comes in by that mindset of people with hubris and they think it's their turn to eat, when you have leadership, they're talking about themselves and their families and their extended people that are in their group, as opposed to the, let's say, the United States ideal of once you're elected, you represent all the people. So those are some of the things that I do write about now in my organization.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Professor. Thank you. That means clapping when people are finished. Yes, very good.
That's okay. Let's jump into the class. It's usually, whether it's the marine or the professor, I can start the class on time, which we're at 11:40 as opposed to 11 o'clock, so I apologize for that. I want somebody to open in the class. Tell us what's going on in the story by that. Yes, sir.
I guess what's the main thing is because but it led to a point where we tried to block our ancestral path till we got hired from school. And the priests are saying that's an important path for the village.